Tanner, hi.
What's up? Thanks for having me.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm glad I made it. I mean, it was close. I almost didn't make it here.
I know. And then you're sharing.
You're a great guide. I mean, I feel bad for you, but thank you.
No, it's all good. But you were just sharing how you lost 2 weeks of your life back in January. Because I was asking you what happened to your cars. Why aren't you driving? You're like,
Yeah. Well, so I mean, when I moved to Miami, I had 3 cars, and I grew up in Houston, so more of a suburb, so I could drive them a lot. When I moved here, I think it makes my life less convenient, and for me at least, creating wealth was all about more convenience, and it would make me less convenient. So I got rid of the cars and I started Ubering. I was like, okay, this is a lot more convenient. But also, you know, my dad's a teacher. I don't know, most people don't know that, but my dad's a teacher. So just growing up that's probably why I'm good with money. I'm very good at like budgeting and all that type of stuff. So, you know, the money's not an issue, but I still go, okay, you know, I'm spending $4,000 a month on Ubers or whatever it is. And so one of my buddies like, dude, just like scooter to the gym. It's like 5 minutes. I was like, yeah, it's a great idea. So I started scootering. It's probably like 5, 6 a.m. in the morning. And one of the days the gym moved. So I went to Elevation. I don't know if you know what that is, but they moved it, and there's big train tracks. And so the crazy part is I don't know what happened. So here's what I think happened. Is I went across the train track and there's a big space and the wheel got caught in the space. I was going probably 25 miles an hour and then I fell. But the crazy part is I hit my head first. So
on the track?
Yeah, well, wherever. All I know is I hit my head first. And so part of me thinks, well, that doesn't make sense because if I fell, I'd put my hands out. There's nothing on my hands. There's no scrapes, nothing. So maybe a car hit me. But anyways, I hit the ground really hard. Like there's blood and like, I got the ambulance called. Like apparently they thought I was dead or something. Like I had like OD'd.
Wow.
I was just laying on the train tracks at 5 a.m. Anyways, I woke up in the hospital. My family and friends took some videos of me. I didn't have any recollection. Some of the stuff, I guess what they say is your frontal lobes allow your decision making. So I was shredded. So I was 192. I just shredded down. Right now I'm probably like 208. So like really, really lean. And I started ordering Uber Eats every day. And I don't remember it, but after I looked and I had every day like 3 or 4 orders of Uber Eats, just stupid stuff like that. But
so wait. You went too fast. So you woke up in the hospital. You don't know how you got there. How long before you woke up?
I don't know. I'm assuming, I don't know. Like they said, like my girl, when she found me, she said, you know, they called her and she showed up, but I was passed out. So I'm assuming maybe like a day or something, maybe 6 to 12 hours. I have no idea. But yeah, they found me and picked me up. I got taken in the ambulance, no recollection, didn't talk to anyone. My mom like came out here, don't remember talking to her. It was a whole thing.
And when you say you don't remember anything for 2 weeks, like what do you mean you don't remember?
Like I can't recall anything that happened. So you know, like last week, you're like, what'd you do last week? I was like, okay, I went here, I did this. No recollection.
But you were awake and like functioning.
Yeah, I was awake and functioning, but it was like I was a vegetable. And my family actually was worried. They're like, is he going to be like this forever? And they're like, no, this is normal. But they would, you know, like I signed myself out of the hospital. Don't remember that. Wouldn't listen to the nurses. Don't remember that. Ordered a bunch of Uber Eats. Don't remember that.
So you were here, but you weren't here.
Yeah, there's a picture of me. Someone took a picture of me. I'm on a call with my team, and I'm on the call. I fall asleep. I was like, and I asked my team, and they said, yeah, bro, it was crazy. We thought you were gone for good.
You went back to work?
Yeah, because, you know, that's even because I do remember when I woke up, the one thing I do remember is, you know, I played football and sports, and I've had serious injuries, very serious. I was like, I mean, I'm fine. I looked at myself, I'm like, I feel fine. And so I was trying to check myself out, and I did, actually. They actually said, I was like, yo, I'm not staying here, whatever. And they're like, dude, you need to chill. You have a brain injury. But, you know, again, you have this brain injury. It makes sense. I'm not thinking straight. So it was a whole fiasco. I'll just leave it at that. It was a whole fiasco.
I saw a video of you on Instagram. I was like, who hit him?
It looks like, yeah.
Someone punched him.
Yeah, so I hit my head, and then all the swelling, like, it just moved into my eyes and stuff. But, yeah, it was...
And you did a podcast in that state.
Yeah, and it was stupid to do that. I mean, I couldn't... And people were saying, dude, you were slurring your words really bad. And even now, I'm probably 80%. I still have, like, lights hurt my eyes. I get really tired. If I look at a screen too long, I get really tired. I can definitely tell, but I'm 80% of the way back. The doctors just say there's nothing you can do. I looked into, like, you know, some progressive medicine, tried it all, didn't do anything. you know, and I asked, you know, what happens if I don't come back to normal? And they're, you know, he's like, yeah, you're kind of screwed. I mean, there's really nothing to do for brains, but I mean, so far so good, I guess. But yeah, I won't be getting on scooters ever again. That was not worth it. Yeah.
So it's a brain injury.
Yeah. So I mean, I had internal bleeding. So my brain was actually like, there's bleeding inside my brain. And that, you know, they said, you know, if it gets bad enough, you can die. So
how do they stop that?
I mean, I have no idea. I don't even know if they can. All I know is they scanned it and they said there was bleeding in my brain. So that's not good. I mean, the only way that happens is your head hits the ground so hard that it's bleeding. I hit the cement, so.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're doing better.
Fun experience. Highly recommend it. Yeah. I mean, the funny part is I can't remember it. That's the craziest part. I don't even remember hitting the ground. Like, the last thing I remember is I was on the scooter about to cross the train tracks, and then that's it. I don't have any recollection outside of that.
Do you know how some people have like near-death experience?
Right.
And they're like, I went and I saw the light and I met with God or Jesus or whatever, and I've had this amazing experience. Right. Was it anything like that for you?
I just remember someone asked me, hey, dude, you could have died. You know, how does that make you feel? And I sat there. And I remember thinking I didn't have any regrets. I was actually pretty happy with my effort. Not that there's not things I don't regret, right? There's things I wish I hadn't done that. Maybe I wish I'd done that better. But I've done I feel like I've lived life full out. I mean, I honestly would have been like, yeah, like, good job, bro. I mean, so that was a good feeling, I think. I've been wired that way since I was young. But yeah, I mean, I actually didn't feel disappointed at all. So I guess I felt good about it. If I had died, I would have been like, I mean, it is what it is. We're all going to die either way. So I don't know. Maybe that's too relaxed, I guess, but
I don't know. It is what it is.
Yeah, when it comes to death and stuff, I just, at this point, it's like, it is what it is.
But when you were out, you didn't meet God when you were out?
I don't remember. Yeah, like I just don't have any recollection. All I remember, like my friends and family would take videos and they would show me videos. Like I'm in bed and I would be like kind of like this, and then someone put food in my mouth and I'd be chewing the food with my eyes closed, and I just have no recollection of my mom. I was saying crazy stuff to my mom. Just nothing like terrible, but it's just stuff you wouldn't usually tell your mom or say to your mom, you know?
Like what?
I was just calling her words. I shouldn't, like, words you would not ever call your mom. Or I was telling her a lot of stuff about my love life, you know? My mom's like, you know, right? But she's had so many kids and she's had so many instances, I think she was fine with it. But, like, she made me something I remember, and I was like, man, this tastes terrible. And she's like, but I was eating it, and she's like, do you like it? And she's like, no. And I kept eating it. She's like, okay. So it's just, there was weird stuff like that it sounds childish, but it's just, I literally lost my thinking ability. I couldn't think, and that's what a lot of the nurses would tell them. And I didn't realize, but I don't know how, it kind of feels like when my thinking got better, it kind of felt like someone pulled a sheet off my face or something. I don't know how to explain it, but there's a distinct moment as I've been going through this injury where I'll wake up a certain day. Like 2 or 3 days ago, I felt about 80%. Before that, I felt about 50%. So 3 days ago, I started feeling tremendously better, and that's happened 2 or 3 times throughout. And that's what they kind of said. They said you get, you know, month 1's really tough, month 2's really tough. You get close to month 3, you're close to recovered, and then usually month 4, at least at this severity, they said. So I don't know. I mean, I don't always trust what doctors say, but that's what they've said at least.
Okay. Well, you look fine and you seem fine.
Yeah, I got this. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
That's probably permanent where I hit my head. But yeah, other than that and like my mental capability to work and things like that, I'm better.
You're better?
Yeah.
How about in terms of like feeling? Do you feel numb, or do you feel yourself and your soul and your feeling? Are you in your body, or do you feel like
I feel that part's normal. I just don't feel like I wake up and I feel, for people to understand, maybe like I'm drunk. Like, so I'll wake up drunk, or it'll be like, I couldn't do this podcast usually at this time. I would have to be early in the day, because usually around 5 o'clock I'd be out. 6 or 7 o'clock I'd start slurring my words. I went to a concert. It was like 10 o'clock. I fell asleep like at the concert. It's just weird stuff like that. But I think it's just my body trying to recover. I would sleep 12 hours a night. So I go to bed at 8 and I'd wake up at 8 a.m. That's not normal. You know, I usually sleep 8 hours. So just, I feel okay now. It's just, just the fatigue is crazy. And then like my eyes would hurt, right? So I'm trying to do work, but my eyes hurt and the lights are on, and then you get a lot more irritable. I'm assuming that's just from the fatigue. So like if you're fasting or you're not eating, you get more irritable, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. At least that's what I think, or what I would say. Some people might be, he's just, he's just a person who has bad moods, but...
Is the light okay with you now?
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay now, but yeah, like a month or so ago, it would have really affected me bad. It still does a little bit, but it's not nearly as bad. I actually would wear blue light blocker glasses pretty much 24/7 because anywhere I'd go, the light would just really hurt my eyes. So
I'm sorry, Tanner.
No, it's all good. I mean, I'm alive, so it is what it is. Yeah.
What an experience.
Yeah. Hopefully, never happen again.
But again, you look good, and I'm
yeah, thank you.
I'm happy you're okay now.
Yeah, appreciate that.
And you have the right support and love around you too.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, my girls helped me a lot. I mean, if she wasn't there, I'd probably be in a bad spot. But the hard part was the first couple of weeks. I don't remember anything, and that was when I was being really difficult. But I don't remember anything. So they would, they told me after. I think what happened is eventually I got past that first stage, and they started showing me stuff, and I was like, wait, like what? That happened and this and that.
What do you mean stuff like?
Just I was being really difficult.
You were being difficult?
Oh yeah, I was like just thinking of me like a child. I mean, that's as simple as I could put it. It's just the stuff I saw that they showed me on video. I was acting like a child. I'd say, no, I'm not going to do that. Or I just, I would tell them to leave and then I tell them to come back. It was just really weird stuff. But again, I just don't have any recollection. And they just, that's the way they explain it. Like, dude, you're acting like a child. So they were worried. I think they were more worried I wasn't going to recover at all. Because that was about a 4-week period, I would say. And I didn't even have any recollection. Like, when it was all done, they had to tell me, yeah, dude, so, like, remember you fell off a scooter? Like, you got a super serious concussion. Like, you've been out for 3 weeks. It was kind of like that, but...
So someone just found you on the floor on the ground?
Yeah. Well, I was on the train tracks, and, yeah, they just thought...
You on the train tracks?
Yeah, I was passed out on the... Yeah, like, knocked out. Like,
Thank God there wasn't a train there.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, and so someone called the ambulance, and... Yeah.
Wow.
It's kind of funny to think about. I mean, I'm passed out like 5 a.m. in the morning, like on the ground, but yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you're a pretty sharp guy. You're pretty disciplined, and
well, that was what my family said. They were like, they at least their words. They said it was hard to see someone so intelligent be so unintelligent after.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
To take away your brain power.
Yeah, like I couldn't think. So the downside, what would have sucked too, is I didn't know I was a burden on them. So imagine if you had Alzheimer's, you're a burden on everyone, but you have no idea. That would have been pretty bad, I think, because they said, dude, you were like a little child. They said that was at the hospital, like they'd leave for a couple minutes, and then the nurses would be calling him. They're like, yo, he's leaving the room. He's like pulling off all his stuff, and it just sounds like typical me, though. But
what do you mean it sounds
well,
typical?
because I'm really determined, and I always, I'm just, I don't know, very like alpha type in the sense of like, okay, I can't be hurt. I'm fine. I got shit to do. So I think what happened is I was sitting at the hospital, and I'm like, I'm fine. Like, I'm alive. Like, I'm looking at myself like I'm okay, but it's a brain injury, so you can't see it. And I would just try to leave and get up and like do, and they're like, dude, you just gotta relax. But that's just not my mentality. So I think that was the biggest issue. I think if I had like a broken leg or broken arm, it's like, okay, cool. But because I couldn't see it, they were telling me, and you don't realize, I guess you don't realize you're stupid, if it's for lack of a better word. So they were telling me, dude, you're not normal. But I'm like, I'm fine. Like, I feel fine. And they were like, you're not fine. But when people would say that, I just like, you guys are being over the top. That's all I really remember. I just remember thinking, God, you guys are so annoying. Like, shut up. Like, I'm fine. Right? And then when I finally got out of that phase, then I looked back and I was like, wow, I don't remember anything. So
you don't remember any of that behavior?
Not really, no. I mean, the only reason I remember it now is they showed me videos. So like they were like, bro, like look, and they showed me videos, and I could see the videos. Yeah, pretty crazy. And
are you back to kind of like your regular routine now?
I mean, I've been doing my routine the entire time. The doctors told me not to, but I mean, I don't know. I think part of it is just you know, I just want to like push. The second thing is like I have my businesses, so it sounds good on paper. Hey, take a break for a couple months, but it doesn't really work. So for a while, I wasn't going to the gym because that was getting extremely hard. Like the amounts, I would wake up half energy, so to speak, and then I go to the gym and I'd be at 25% energy, and it's 9 a.m. For the whole day, and that would just crush me. So for a while, I was only working, not going to the gym. Then I started going back to the gym, but it would just crush me. I think I'm finally able to go back now without it killing me. So like this week, I've been at the gym every single day. I started barely just putting cardio back in. So I've had injuries before, but this one's been frustrating because I can't see it. So when I have a broken leg or a broken foot or broken shoulder, whatever, you know, I've had those happen, but this has been, it's been different. It's just been like hard. And then because people can't see it, it's just harder for, you know, you don't, like, they don't know what's going on, or they might not know something's wrong, or you know, you're really irritable and they think it's them, but really it's just the fatigue. And that's what they say some of the side effects are, right? Like, I don't make excuses for stuff, but they're like, oh yeah, you'll be really irritable and you'll be really rash and you're going to make stupid decisions. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like what Tanner's been doing. I'm like, okay, yeah, you know, but I don't know in the moment because I just feel tired and I just blame it on work or whatever. So
it's hard for you to kind of like, you know, the word that comes to mind is surrender.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's hard for me. I mean, I would say it's hard for me to sit around doing nothing, but I'm just so used to like, it's go, go, go. There's always something to be doing with the businesses and stuff like that. I think business kind of put me in that because that made me really successful, especially when you're doing, you know, you're running the business by yourself in the beginning. Once you get a team, doesn't work that way as much, but there's still always something to do. There's like new content to shoot. There's somewhere to be. There's someone to help manage. There's someone to fire. There's someone to hire, you know? So I don't know. And I also just look at that as being the best I can be. I don't know if that's the whole point of life, to like just be your best you can be, but that's at least how I try to see it. Or that's what makes me feel good. I feel my best when I'm pushing. I don't really feel good when I'm kind of chilling.
Surrendering. It reminds me, you know, like about 10 years ago, I was living in LA and I was also doing work in market research and all of that. And I had issues on my vocal cords. So I had cysts growing there, and so I couldn't speak anymore.
That's rough.
And I kept pushing.
Those hurt too, right?
It hurt.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, but I still kept going to work, and I still had meetings, and I still kept pushing. And the more I pushed, the worse it got.
Yeah.
But then eventually, I couldn't speak at all anymore, and then I had to have surgery, and then I had to have speech therapy and learn how. In total, I couldn't speak, like, I didn't get my voice back till a year. It took me a year. But in the beginning, it was so hard for me to just pause. Yeah. You know, pause and surrender and just be. And then eventually I had to, you know, because I lost my job, you know.
Oh, because of that? Yeah.
I didn't lose my job, and I needed to have surgery, and then I didn't know what to do with myself without my job or anything I had to do before. So I went to Asia.
I think I could have. I just didn't see the benefit because I asked the doctors, can this get any worse? Not really. Can it get it? Like, is there anything to speed up? No. Okay, so you know, there's, like, I even had a call with the doctor today, and it was like, how you doing? Yeah, good. Oh, you're still struggling with this? Okay, do you want to get an MRI? Well, what if the MRI is bad? Well, we can't do anything. I'm like, then it really doesn't matter. It's just been a weird injury because most injuries, you know, there's medicine, there's surgery or something. There's been nothing they can do for this.
Because, you know, I could relate because it was my voice, and so nobody could see that I couldn't speak. So when you see me, I'm normal. So people come up to me, and I have to try and have normal conversations. And when I don't reply, they look at me like weird, and I'm like...
Yeah, I just have a sign on my chest. It's like, I can't talk. I have cysts.
That's what I had to do eventually, you know?
Yeah.
But it's one of those handicaps that no one sees, you know, or injuries that no one sees. And then it's so hard to... It's more frustrating than a broken leg.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
'Cause people have more sympathy when it's something that you can see. But when it's internal, it's almost like
it's just hard for people to, like, they can't understand because, like, you know, they don't know, they can't see it. So I'm assuming.
Have you tried any of I don't know, like holistic medicines and stuff like that?
I don't think so. I mean, like I went down the rabbit hole with like psychedelics way back, but I don't think that's really holistic, you know.
Depends who you ask.
Yeah, right. I mean, besides psychedelics, but that wasn't really because I had an actual injury. You know, I was just kind of like, I don't even know what you would say. I guess I was trying to like mentally, like I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna try to see what it does type deal.
If you've been feeling stuck mentally, emotionally, energetically, I created something just for you. Get Unstuck is a gentle guided workbook to help you come back to yourself. In just 10 steps, you'll clear your mind, soften into truth, and choose a new way forward. It's simple, powerful, and made with so much love. If this speaks to you, you'll find the link in the show notes. What kind of psychedelics?
I mean, all of them. Acid, mushroom, weed, or not weed. I mean, well, weed, yeah, but that doesn't really count. Ayahuasca, ibogaine, you know, like bofu was pretty crazy. Yeah, so yeah. I just one of the good things about me, I guess it's bad too, is when I go hard on stuff, I just go all the way. So it's good if it's like a good thing, but maybe if it's bad. But to be honest, it wasn't. I wouldn't say I had a bad experience. I think now that I've done it, overall, it was a positive experience for me. I think now that I've done it, I don't think it's the end all be all. I also think people shouldn't just do it to do it. It's very, it's a drug.
Did you have any epiphanies or any like aha moments? Meet Jesus kind of moment?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have anything weird. Some, like ayahuasca specifically, that's where you usually do with the group. It's a 6-hour trip. Some people will say, I saw jaguars, I saw this. I mean, that wasn't what I experienced. For me, it was pretty straightforward. I would just have very profound thoughts. So, like let's pretend you're sitting by yourself or you're sleeping and you're laying down. You might have thoughts, but these were very profound. Like I had a thought, what was, should I be a monk or stay in business? Right. And that actually went down that path. I had.
Wow. That's, should I be a monk or stay in?
Yeah. Because I've hit in terms of financial success, like there's really, I don't know, like, I don't feel like there's always farther to go, but there's nothing like I need monetarily, if that makes sense. And so I really went down that path, and the thought I had was I can help more people having businesses, and so that reinforced it to me.
By staying in business.
Yeah, it was almost like talking to my older self. That's the best thing. Like it was weird. Like I'd be sitting there, I'd go into the ceremony with, this is what I want to know, but then the drug would start hitting my system, and then I'd start having very profound thoughts. That was very interesting to me. If you haven't done it, it's hard to explain. People say, well, what does it feel like? The only way I can try to explain that makes it sound like, I guess, somewhat normal is I was sitting there and it was almost like my older self was just putting thoughts in my head, and then I'd go down a rabbit hole, and then I'd come to maybe a conclusion, or maybe I wouldn't, and then like another thought would pop up. And I was specifically there to figure out my girl stuff, so to speak, but it was like an overall positive experience. Like I didn't leave with a negative experience. I was afraid, and people were afraid too. They thought, he's going to come back completely weird. I've seen some people do that. Like, I guess, teach their own, but I guess I'd see something like this and then completely flip, like completely different person. I remember I saw a super famous fitness influencer. His name's Connor Murphy. I don't know him personally, but he had 2-3 million subs on YouTube, super into fitness, super into working out, and then just started posting completely, you would consider crazy videos, just totally different. Nothing to do with fitness, kind of crazy.
Around what?
I mean, he would just post, like, imagine like a super jacked fitness guy just posting like funny, informative videos. Like he would do videos picking up girls or like informative, and then he would like get a new video and he'd have on like a tie-dye shirt. He'd have like Looney Tune colors in the background, like flashing lights, and then he'd just be talking about weird stuff, and I'm like, whoa, dude. And he's like, yeah, just had my ayahuasca trip, super great. And that actually, I was actually scared that was going to happen, but I think I was so desperate at the time. I just was out of options, or I felt I was out of options, so I said, it's kind of like, fuck it, I'll try it.
So what was the desperation?
I think I talked about you a little bit in Arizona. We talked about it a bit. Yeah. I just, in short, I've always, how do I put this in a non-weird way where it doesn't sound super weird? I've always had, I don't know if this is because I was bullied, whatever, because people go super deep with that. I have no idea. Maybe it was I was bullied. Maybe I grew up
as
like religious. Yeah, maybe that's because I was in a super religious, household where I've just always enjoyed women. Like not even in a weird way. Just I've always, when people say, what do you like to do? I was like, sports and hang out with girls. Like that's just what I like to do.
You grew up Mormon, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and like until I was 16, I was pretty much barricaded in my house. I couldn't do stuff. And then at 16, I could start driving and I could hang out with girls. And that was like, I went from video games and sports. And then I was like, sports and girls. Like that was the end of video games. I haven't played video games since I was, 14, 15. And yeah, so I don't think that's weird. I think most guys do. I just think what's been interesting for me is, you can only compare yourself to yourself. Like you ask people questions, like I'll go to, 10 different guys. I say, do you like, where are you at on a scale 1 to 10 with girls? Like, let's say 10 is like, oh my gosh, I love girls. I have to have 100 girlfriends. And, the guy's on a 1 and he's like, I could care less. And I don't know. It seems like there's a big range. So maybe I'm just weird. I've thought that maybe I'm just different, or maybe it's just different, certain type of guy, or, maybe these guys, if they're not, more financially well off or whatever. Anyways.
So why would you be different or weird? Because you're more like on the scale you're 10,
I would say it seems, at least, again, I don't know. It seems like it's a bigger deal for me than most guys. But again, I don't know. It could just be the guys I'm talking to. I would say on average that it, at least, again, maybe when I'm older, my view will change. It seems that I enjoy it more than average. So, let's say people are like, what do you like to do for fun? Like I've gone to concerts, I've gone to restaurants, I've traveled the world. I this will sound bad, or it's almost like some people are like, wow, that's sad. But I just don't, I'm not like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. I'm like, yeah, it's all right. I've just enjoyed meeting new women. Like I just enjoy it. Like even if it's just conversation, it doesn't have to be anything weird. Like I don't think I've ever been super weird or make a girl uncomfortable. I enjoy girls, So that's just, I think that's what I was going there to try to figure out. And I guess like when you say figure it out, you got 3 options. You can be a monogamous relationship. You can be the bachelor for the rest of your life, or you can, I don't know, Andrew Tate style, right? And you just have like a bunch of girls. And I wasn't trying to do anything wrong. I just didn't really know what to do. Most of the direction I would get would either be from, religious context, which that's fine. That's just not where I'm at. So that would be hard for me to hold on to, or it would be from like someone who wasn't in the position I'm in. Right. So, this probably became a bigger thing when I was 27. I'm 33 now. So, I'm 27 years old. I'm now a multimillionaire. I'm 6'2". I'm pretty in good shape. I don't know what the statistics are. You type that in on Google. It's like 6'2", multimillionaire, pretty good shape. Like it's probably a very small statistic. And again, I don't say that as like a scapegoat or like, oh, well, yeah, but I just looked at that as maybe that's, I get more attention than maybe other guys or whatever. I don't know.
Was the whole reason you worked so hard to become a millionaire to have more girls?
Yeah, I think so. 100%. Because, I think so because, and that's the irony, right? So as a kid, I was bullied because I didn't really do anything. That's
what were you bullied for?
I would just say I was weird. I was just a very sheltered kid. I had 2 older sisters. We played dress, I didn't do anything wrong to people. That actually really messed with me as a kid because I just remember I would get made fun of and I'm like, I'm not even doing anything to you guys.
Well, a lot of kids get bullied because they're overweight or because
I just think I was weird. I just think like meaning sheltered household, no cuss words, played dress up with my sisters, wasn't into sports until 12 years old, So I didn't have an older brother to kind of steer me. And
was this like a Mormon school?
No, it wasn't. It's just I grew up, my dad was equivalent of a bishop or a pastor for people who aren't familiar with the Mormon religion. And so I was just sheltered. And I think I didn't have an older brother, so I went to school and, I'd say whatever and they're like, you're weird, right? And I was like, that would really bother me. I remember when I started excelling at sports, that was nice for me because I remember I started excelling at sports. And then when guys would make fun of me, I'd be like, but I'm better at sports than you. And I remember like people wouldn't say anything. They're like, hey, he's right. And I was like, cool. And then I'd see that with girls. I see that with grades. I think the biggest difference with girls is just like there is a dopamine rush or whatever. I don't know the whole scientific terminology you would say, but there's something happens, right? Like it's exciting. It's like, wow, this is fun. But the downside of that is like, I would say where I struggled, like just getting to the point where I really struggled is I've always enjoyed being in a relationship, but I also enjoy variety, right? And I just
would you cheat or would you would you break up a lot? Or?
No, I break up a lot. I break up a lot, or I would try. Like I guess for a long time, I tried to figure out a way to do both ethically, however you want to put that. So I thought there's a girl out there who will love me and understand how I feel and be okay with me talking to other girls or whatever that looks like, right?
In the Mormon religion, is it you marry one woman or can you marry multiple?
Oh no,
women?
a couple hundred years ago there was polygamy, right? So anyway, you can go into a whole different direction with this, but a couple hundred years ago there's polygamy. They say, like the church will say, oh yeah, there's a need for it. Who knows? Like when I hear that, I start laughing. I'm like, yeah, of course there's a need for it. Like I need it, But no, now it's totally monogamous, right? Okay. That's most religions. I've never wanted it in a bad way either. Like I've even said, like I would catch myself saying to my parents, like, man, I don't like why. I think that's where I said to you earlier on the podcast or maybe offset. Like I'm a little mad at the world right now because in a perfect world to me, I don't know what the whole point is of us being here, but let's say it's to be happy and be our best. And so to me, I'm like, okay, well, if I enjoy, let's say different girls' company, whatever, is that bad if I do that? And I'm honest. And I've really struggled with that thought because I'm thinking, if I'm being honest and I'm telling the truth and all this stuff, like, why is it so bad? I went down that rabbit hole for a while. I think the conclusion I've come to, which has made me, I guess, more upset meaning because if you want to lose weight, you got to stop eating food. It is what it is. If you want to get in shape, you got to lift weights. It is what it is. So I think the conclusion I've gotten to is if you want to have a good relationship with a woman, you got to commit to her. It is what it is. And the reason I say that is, yeah, there's girls who allow that stuff, but more times than not, what I see is the guys are doing it because they can, not because the girl likes it. And that has always messed with me.
What do you mean?
Because I think that's what bullies did to me, right? Like they did it because they could. I think what's hard for me is, like, I know I can. I think that's what's made it hard. Like, I know I can do that. I know I could find a girl who would, like, allow it, but I don't think she'd like it. Does that make sense?
Even if she says yes, it's okay.
She doesn't like,
deep down, she doesn't want.
I don't think, like, you look at, again, like, I like it. I like overall Andrew Tate. I like that he does what he thinks. In fact, most of the people I respect, it's not because I agree with them. It's because they're just, this is the path I'm going down. So if you look at him or you look at any guys who do it, there's guys who do it. I just think ultimately, like, here's what I see. So number one is it's one of two things. Either one, you have, let's say you have a main girl and you have other girls. Even if you do that, it's like, obviously the other girls are not a priority. And so they're probably, they're only getting certain parts of the relationship they want. Maybe it's money, usually, right? That's what I'd say. Or if you have a bunch of girls and let's say like they're quote unquote all on equal ground, there's only so much time in the day. So she can't be getting that much of your attention regardless, because especially a busy entrepreneur like myself, like I work a lot. So even one girl's hard. You
don't even have the time for it.
Well, even one girl, I don't even have the time for one girl. Right. And so I think that's just bothered me a little bit because I think, I'm not super religious, but I think let's say God, why did God put us here and he makes guys want to, hook up with 100 girls, but then the girls don't want any of that, right? On average, right? On average, or let's say a good girl, right? And so I think that's more what's bothered me. I'm not saying that, like,
you're angry at God for creating that possibility, but not.
I guess that. Well, I wouldn't say I'm angry. I just would like to know the answer. Like, if I could right now give up all my money and all my wealth to get that question answered, I would do it. That because it's been that big a pivotal question in my life, because it was at a point like with the girl I was with, like she is not okay with it, right? I think most girls worth being with probably wouldn't be. And so I really had to figure out like what I wanted to do. And I will say this, just because I'm in a relationship doesn't mean like in a quote unquote perfect world I wouldn't want to do that. I just think I've decided not to. And I don't know if that's just going to be like a thing I deal with the rest of my life. I don't,
But isn't isn't your question the same as like, well, if God gave us all this food, then why couldn't we just eat all the food we want?
No, it's the same.
It's the same question.
No, for sure. And maybe, usually people will say it's discipline, right? It's like, oh, well, like it's discipline. But at the same time, I would say this. I think, and again, like maybe it's just the way, it's the way I'm thinking about it 100%. Like everything in life, it's how you're thinking about it. But I think with food, I cannot eat pizza, but I can still have pizza again, right? If you're with a woman the rest of your life, like that's it. There is no, oh yeah, I'll take hey baby, I'm off for a day. Break, hall pass. Like you can, but I guess the fight I've had is I've always wanted to do what I wanted to do regardless of what other people said, because I don't want to live for other people. But at the same time, if I'm doing it at the detriment of other people, like I have an issue with it. And for me, it's just, even like, for example, you can meet, I've even met girls and they'll like, oh yeah, it's okay, but they just met me. They're not in love with me. Maybe in 3 months they feel different. Like I've never felt like they're saying it because that's what they want. I feel like they're saying it because they value what I bring to the table, but they're like, I'll deal with it. And I think that's kind of always bothered me. And I'm thinking, so why am I wired this way? Right. And of course, like I could change that. I can put myself in different environments, all that stuff. Like I'm aware of that. I just think it bothers me that it's become that big a thing in my life, or that it's one of the things I just look at as I enjoy. I don't know.
There's a part of you that you reject, that you don't like, that there's this thing here for you. And
yeah, my life would be easier if that wasn't what I enjoyed. Like people, for example, if you said, Tanner, what do you like to do? Like I went to the Heat game the other day. It was okay. Like I genuinely loved sports when I played sports, but when sports ended, it's whatever. I go to the beach. I'm like, it's okay. I go to a restaurant. I'm like, everything's okay. But someone's like, new girls are like, oh yeah, like I'm in, like, and my eyes will like 100% light up. Not even not in a weird way. It's just, even if just a conversation or just dinner, or like I enjoy stimulating conversation with a woman, I think. And then also, it's tough because it's a little bit of a taboo subject. I'd go, if I ask I won't mention any names, but if I ask a rich guy, like guys will say, deal with it, cheat, or like they'll do some type of like open relationship. But yeah, I don't ever know if what they're saying is the truth. And then I have to also be respectful. I'm not going to go ask their wife or their girlfriend, like, hey, it's just
ask them what,
like whatever they've told me. Hey, like, so, John said this about y'all's. It's a little touchy subject, and I think especially with men, you don't want all your business out there.
Is it? I mean, I don't think this is an issue that's just related to you, right? Like, like the men that you talk to, do they all struggle with this?
I'm sure to a degree. It just seems, I don't know. I just think for me, it's been a little bit all consuming. Like if you ask me for the last couple of years, what's the biggest issue in my life? Like this has like constantly been a thought. Even now, I think about it a lot. And like, I have a girlfriend right now. I'm faithful to her. But like, if someone were to say, I'll put it this way. If someone were to say, hey, there's a way you can do this and not get anyone hurt, and it, people will like it, I would probably do it. I just haven't seen a way to do that. And that's what bothers me, is I go, why am I wired this way?
A way to do what?
Well, let's, for sake of the conversation, let's just say like if you were to have 2 girlfriends or 3 girlfriends or 4 or whatever.
So you're not talking just about sex. You're talking about having...
No, and like for me, it's, I mean, that's part of it for sure. But I've just always enjoyed that. Like there's even girls in my past I've dated who, like, if I can only marry one woman, I'm not going to marry them. But like hypothetically, if there were 2 or 3 girls I could take care of and that was how society was structured, yeah, 100%. Like they were a really like great girl, great woman, like all that type of stuff. I think that kind of bothers me a little bit. It's like you meet these great people, but then they can't be in your life because you don't want to commit to them forever, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, aren't you just talking about polygamy? Because a lot of people do that nowadays.
Yeah, but I don't think the girls like it. You get what I mean?
But it seems like some are okay with it, at least.
Yeah, I think they deal with it though. I don't think they like it. Like, so there's a difference. There's definitely, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's people who do it, and that's always been my question. Is I go, well, if there's people who do it, maybe that's what I should do. At least the journey I've been on, the problem I have, again, maybe it's just me, is I have a very particular type of girl I like, I think. So that makes it hard. And then number two is that I think they're dealing with it. And like, to me, if my girl's dealing with it, that doesn't feel right to me.
So you want the girls you attract, or the girls that you want are the type of girls who don't want to have anything to do with it.
I mean, it's either that, or just I think girls in general. Like, for example, if we had 100 girls in this room, and I brought this up, I would say at least 80%, if not more, would say absolutely not.
Would you be okay with her also having other men?
No, of course. So it's just like
So then on top
of that, it's. So again, like I guess the problem I get stuck with is I want to live life on my terms. I want to do what I want. But then with that particular subject, it affects someone else. And so it's always bothered me a little bit. And so then I was like, well, what do I do? Do I do what I want to do? Or do I do what they want me to do? And then in the back of my head, you know, because I've been a successful entrepreneur, I'm thinking, don't be a little bitch, don't be a little bitch. Like, you know, so then I'll go down that path. But I don't know. The problem is when I go down that path and I see people get their feelings hurt and stuff like that, that bothers me. And so then it puts me right back in the spot where I'm like, man, I'd really like to eat that pizza, but like I can't, you know, I don't know. I don't know if that sounds weird, but it's just, I wouldn't say I'll be fine. Like, it's life. I'll live. Like,
it sounds like it's a discipline thing. It's a self-control thing, but it's really consuming you.
Yeah, I think it's disappointing. I think I'm disappointed.
You're disappointed that you can't have it the way you want it.
Yeah, like I could have it, but I think at the Dutch, I just don't think I don't think I'd like myself if I did that. Like, basically, I would, you know, most of the guys I see do it because I have friends who do it. I respect them, because they're living life the way they think. But usually the way it comes off to me is like, I'm the guy, I'm paying for everything, you shut up, I do whatever I want, you have to deal with it. And I'm just like, that to me, it's like, they're not, at that point, I don't even feel like they're in a relationship with their woman. Like, so
that's ownership. That's not
so again, like Andrew Tate, I respect the guy. I've never talked to him, I don't know him, he doesn't know me. But like, I feel his girlfriend's his brother. Like, he seems closer to his brother than, I mean, I've never seen him on camera with any girl.
What would you respect that guy for?
I respect him because I respect people who live life the way they think they should live it. So regardless if you were crazy, like if you know, I don't know, if you wore feathers on your head every day and you were convinced that the feathers did some vibrational thing that did, you know, I just would be like, yeah, girl, like do your thing. I think I've just always respected that because it's hard at times because people fear judgment. And so I think I respect people that, regardless of judgment, do what they want. And I would always have those thoughts. Like, again, I've always had those thoughts that's made me successful in a lot of endeavors, you know, don't be a little bitch, right? And so I think that because every time like I'd come to this, I'd be like, oh, you know, it hurts her feelings, this, that. And then the voice like, hey, bro, like, you got to do what you want to do. Don't be a little bitch, right? So I think that's where the struggle comes from.
So it seems like it's a constant struggle. Does it take a lot of energy? You did a lot of coaching, right? You coached with Steve Hardison as well.
Yeah.
You did
I've talked to Steve about this, you know, a million hours. So yeah.
For a million hours.
Yeah, at least.
But and you did the whole psychedelics and.
Yeah, I did all that, and that's part of the reason I was doing those is I was just tired. Like, I'm like, there's got to be like a better solution.
And you haven't arrived at a place where you've been able to actually.
I think I'm more at peace with it from the standpoint of it is what it is. But I still don't, like, I don't know. There's one of two things. I don't know if I have a higher, like a bigger tendency than the average guy. Like, I'm worried. I'm curious if it's that. Like, maybe it's just, you know, me. So if I talk to 10 guys, they're like, oh, bro, like I cannot relate to you at all. I'm like, okay, it's a me thing. Or maybe just every guy feels that and they deal with it differently. It's just hard to know because I can only feel my emotions. I don't know how other guys feel. I've talked to other guys, obviously, and friends I respect. But again, I don't know if they feel it on the same level I do. Like they'll be like, oh yeah, I do totally get it. But I don't think they might feel it on the same level. Or maybe they're just more mature than me or whatever. Like I I think I'm always open-minded enough to not think I know everything, and that's been a big thing. But at the same time, because I'm like I question everything and I go down every rabbit hole, it can create this situation that I'm in.
It's right. It sounds like you don't rest until you find an actual solution.
Yeah, like I'm a very logical person, and so like I just look for 2 + 2 is 4. So even with religion, it's not that I'm against religion. A lot of religions, it's like we're the right religion. If you're not, in this religion, you're in a bad spot. And I'm like, I've never been okay with that thought, because I've thought, okay, if God, made everyone and has control and power, whatever, like, and, 2 billion people or 1 billion people are going to go to hell. I'm like, I'm not really down for that. Like, I almost feel like I'd rather go to hell, if that makes sense. And I don't know. I think that's just always been, like, I would like to know the answer. So the answer I would like to know is, for example, if like God or whoever said, yeah, dude, you're just supposed to have discipline and that's part of life. I gave you that obstacle. I'd be like, great. Like that to me, I'd be like, done. Or he's like, no, dude, like you just got to do whatever you want to do. And like some will be okay with this, some will not. I'm like, okay, great, done. But I think that's been the hard part is I think I got to the point where I thought going down this path, and maybe like finding the girl or not finding the girl for X amount of years, like became not worth it to me, because ultimately I would see it would cause more heartache than it would cause like happiness. And then I started to think, hey, if this is such a good thing, why are so many girls get upset about it? All right. And then there'll be some guys, and I get some of the feedback or what guys will say. They'll say, hey, like you built your whole life to this level, you have all this money, all this status, like, and then these girls come in and say, you can't do what you want to do. And so I understand to a degree, but I think, I don't know. I just think.
Okay. So what are you saying? You have the wealth, you have the money, you have the status. You're young, you're a good-looking man, you're fit, you're healthy, you're intelligent, you're smart. You have the house, you have the cars.
The intelligence is gone somewhat.
It's coming back. The intelligence part's coming back. And then why can't I have? Why would I have a woman who tells me what to do?
Right. Yeah. I think that's one side. And then the other side is just, I built my whole life to be able to do whatever I want. And then you get to where you can do whatever you want. And then people are like, oh, like, it's kind of funny. Like, I wanted to have a bunch of cars. I got a bunch of cars. Didn't care. It's like, you can have a big house. Don't care. It's like, it's almost like a mind F, because you build your life to get to this point that you think things are going to turn. And then you get there and like, things are not how they seem.
They're going to turn to be what?
Maybe you think you're gonna be happier. Like when my life, before I was rich, I just thought my life sucked because I was poor. So I thought, oh, well, I'm rich, I'll be better. I got rich, and then those things didn't change. Or I would say people expect you not to do it. I think that's the hard thing. I think the hard thing is some men, they say they want something, but they can't have it. Right? So Drake, he's a famous rapper. Like Drake can get any girl he wants. So some guys will say, oh, I don't want girls and stuff. It's like, boom, it's not an option for you, right? I think that's part of where my brain goes. It's like, okay, like, yeah, like he can't even get the girl. I think for me, what makes it hard is if it's an option is then it's like, okay, you can actually do it. So why don't you? And then that's kind of been the battle I've been going back and forth with, right? Is I can do it. So, but should I not do it? And I just want to make good decisions.
Did you do it at all in any period of your life where you just had a bunch of girls around?
No, I mean, like always when I was single, like I never had like a girlfriend I was doing it. But like I've had a serious relationship on and off throughout the years, and bless her heart, she's had to go through it, and I feel guilty for that for sure, because she's just an amazing girl, and I'm over here like being an idiot, I guess you could say. But yeah, like, no, I would like break up and I date a bunch of girls, and most, like, I would say most girls, like, and it's probably you could probably say the same for most guys, but most girls I go on a date with, I'm like, like, not that great. I like girls who are really intellectual, really driven. I would say I'm in the minority. Like most guys I would say are going purely for beauty, and I like beautiful women, but like, it's not only beautiful women, it's like very smart, very driven. So it puts it in like, I guess you could say the top 10 or 20% of girls. Like it's a very slim market.
Do you get bored quickly?
Probably, yeah.
It seems like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you're in this quest for fulfillment, and you, no matter what you get, you still don't feel fully fulfilled.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I think that's how every relationship works, though, right? I mean, every relationship, eventually the novelty wears off.
Yeah, right? But I was talking about like overall, you know, you got the money and then you're like, okay, now I got the money. You travel and you're like,
yeah,
okay,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, trust me. I mean, I constantly, it's one of those questions like, what's the meaning of life? And people will either go to religion or something else, but no one really 100%, no one can say they 100% can prove it.
Through all your psychedelic trips and the coaching and all of that, were you able to at least touch what the meaning of life is for you?
I don't think I've gotten there yet. I think if I had, I wouldn't be struggling with this question. I think like I have a gist, like you talk to people or you see older individuals and they'll say, it's all about relationships, right? Or it's all about your family and I get that. And don't get me wrong. Like I 100% like can relate to that. Like I get when I die, who cares what I did living with my businesses or who cares what I did with social media? I 100% agree. But at the same time, when I feel my best, like I'm pushing. Like I'm trying to push myself and be the best version of myself, whether that's business, fitness, women, whatever. And then, you know, like I'm pushing so much, like 90% of the time I'm pushing. Like if you're like, where's Tanner? I'm working 100%, like 90% of the time. So that the few times I do relax, that's been the one thing that I've enjoyed, right? And not in a bad way or not in a weird way. Just like, yeah, it's like, what do you want to do, bro? Like I'd be like, yeah, let's find some cute girls and go somewhere. Like that's what I would say. But then it seems like it creates a lot of issues as you get older, and that's always bothered me. Like I'm thinking, why is that?
What do you mean it creates a lot of issues? What creates?
As you get older, I think most women want one dude. They want a serious relationship. What I'm suggesting, technically, you can't have a super serious relationship, even if you're a good guy. Like let's say you had 3 girlfriends. Like it can't be that serious.
But here's what I'm struggling with as you're talking. Like, why are you making it so wrong? Like, if you just want to be single and be with different women,
I know.
Why is that? Why are you making that so wrong? No, I hear you.
That's the problem. Is I enjoy. So that's the fight. Is I actually prefer being in a relationship. I prefer that, but I enjoy the novelty, right? And I mean, boo hoo. Like it's like everyone's like, yeah, dude, that's life, right? It's probably just a maturity issue, but that's always bothered me because I'm thinking. So I work my ass off all the time, 24/7. I'm always doing stuff for other people. I never do anything for myself. And then the one thing that I do want to do for myself, I can't because
I can't have it. So
right, well, because unless like I want, a bunch of
you bullshit. Can if you want to.
Yeah, and deal with a bunch of bullshit. It feels like, which is not. It's just women are so emotional on average, I should say, and guys are so logical. And I get a little frustrated that why are women so emotional? Like, why do they think this way if we think this way? It just...
Well, thank God we're different.
I guess, yeah. I mean,
imagine we were just like you guys.
Yeah, it'd probably be terrible. But I think that bothers me a bit where, and I thought in the past, I really did think, I thought, if I'm patient enough, there's 8 billion people on earth, there'll be one girl out there who will agree. And that's what a lot of guys would tell me who are doing it. But then when I meet their girls... It's
not what you want.
Yeah, I would see them. I'm like, bro, like you're like, no offense, like I just feel like your girl's not that great. Like she's average, and not like I'm not even like talking about how she talks or I'm just not even trying to be rude. It's just I just couldn't see myself even dating that girl to begin with, regardless if she allowed me to do that stuff.
How does your girl feel about obviously she knows about all this stuff.
Yeah, I don't mention her name on the podcast because it's like I don't want to bring that attention to her. She probably is embarrassed. Embarrassed is probably a good word. Like first she's like, because girls want to, probably say, oh, like my man loves me and does everything for me, only wants to be with me. But,
most women are worried about their men cheating, so it's not like.
Yeah, I'm just super honest to a fault. Like, but I'd rather be with a girl I can say this to than not, because if I have to bottle this up inside and then she judges me for it, to me, I would be out. I'm just like, yeah, this is where I'm at in life.
I wonder if you're just saying what every man thinks.
Yeah, I've thought that too. But at the same time, yeah, trust me, maybe. But I don't think I'm the only guy out there, don't get me wrong. But at the same time...
men are typically obsessed with women,
Yeah.
And with sex a lot more than women are obsessed with men.
Yeah, which is, I would agree.
And then you have men usually try to keep their women and not, they don't want their women doing certain things or
Yeah.
being around certain men, or
Yeah,
probably
of
because
course, yeah.
you guys know how you
Yeah,
think.
I mean, yeah, I hope I don't have a little girl because, like, yeah, I think I'm a good guy, and it's like I can't imagine the bad guys.
Do you think your religious background is also effing with your head in regards to this? Because there are men who think this way, but they're a lot freer around it. It doesn't make them good or bad.
Like freer meaning they like what?
Freer in a sense where they will go with and have different girls, you know, or they would cheat and be okay with it.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm just not like religion or not. Like even if I was an atheist, I've just seen. Okay, so maybe this is what I left out for context. I've cheated one time and it almost killed me. Like I've never seen, and it wasn't even blatant. Just I'm still a piece of shit, but the long story short is we had talks about it, and she eventually got to a point where she's like, "Hey, we'll try it." Right?
Try what?
We'll try something together. Like we'll do, like
polygamy or
nah, not to that extent, but like we'll try something together with, like, let's say
another woman,
right?
Okay.
And I was pumped. I was like, wow, like I'm gonna live my dream life, and I'm the girl of my dreams, and I could tell very quickly, like, she wasn't okay with it though. She was doing it because she loved me. She wasn't doing it because she wanted to do it. And so, long story short, I was traveling and an opportunity presented itself, and I was like, oh, like, we're gonna be doing it anyways in 6 months or whatever it was. I'm like, I justified it, and because of who I am, I told her, and I've just never seen someone so hurt before. Like it was like I stabbed her. I've never seen someone I cared about so hurt before. And like I would never do it again. I'd rather die. Like I'm not saying that to be like over the top. It's just I've never seen someone that hurt, and it really messed with me. It really, like, I just, like, it was just, wow, that was just totally not worth it. So, maybe that was supposed to happen. I don't know, for that reason. But yeah, it's been interesting to say the least. I mean, we could talk about it as long as you want.
We could talk about this for days, but I think it's just different for men and women. And, you have a question that you're asking where men are built this way and women are built this way. You know, you guys can separate the sex from everything else.
Right.
And women can't. And even when we say we can, it's not true. We do get emotional and attached. Sex is not just sex for us. No matter what the woman says, it's not true. Because there are a lot of women who would say, like the man would say, I'm just looking for something casual or just for sex.
Yeah, and it starts that way, but then it doesn't end that way.
And she would say, okay. But in the back of her head, that's not what she means.
No.
And she's saying, okay, in the hope that I would change his mind.
It used to frustrate me because I remember I would tell my boys, and I went through this a little bit, but what would happen is I'd be single, but I would bring this up to girls early on, and I would just tell them, like, look, just so you know, this is who I am, and I'd have a couple girls say they were okay with it, but the thing is you don't know, like, if they'll be okay with it if they love you, right? And so then I think the decision I had to make was, am I willing to go down this path and date this girl for 6 months or a year and see if she changes her mind? And then if she changes her mind, I'm right back in the same spot. I don't know. I still, maybe there is a girl out there, like 1 out of 8 billion, maybe there's one girl, but I think the thing that really started to gnaw at me is I'm wasting, like, all this time, and it was all this headache and all these conversations, and I'm thinking, I guess I thought if it was such a good thing, why is it so difficult? Right? Like if it was so straightforward for girls, like maybe it'd be more, I wouldn't have so many issues. But yeah, it bothers me for sure because. So
ideally you would want, let's say, 2 women who love you and they're both okay with each other. Being is that your ideal situation?
I don't know what the number is, but yeah, ideally
2, 3, whatever. But ideally they love you and they're okay with it.
Like ideally okay with it, meaning it wouldn't bother them. But from what I've seen, it's not. I used to remember certain girls would say that's not possible. And I'm just like, I was just like, yeah, it's just you though. There's a million girls, but I don't know. I just have yet to see a situation. Like, I wouldn't like it, right? Like, if my girl's like, hey, I have another dude, I wouldn't like it. so it just seems it would make sense like they wouldn't like, I don't know. And I just haven't seen any guys who seem to be doing it at scale. They're not putting a lot of time into the girls. So the trade-off usually is like, hey, I'll pay for everything. I'll take care of you, da-da-da. And then in return, you're loyal to me or whatever. And it's like, but that's not
That's very transactional.
Right. That's
Is this like, I'm just curious now, is this like part of yourself or your brain that really just wants to figure this out? And once you figure it out, you'd be like, you know what? Actually,
well, yeah.
no,
I mean, I like figure it out, meaning I'd like to know.
Make it happen.
Well, yeah. I will. So I will, like, for example, like the question. I think I've made my assumption, but the question would be, yeah, if you lined up, let's say there's 4 billion girls on Earth. You lined up 4 billion, and there was, let's say one of them honestly, truthfully, was okay with it. I was like, yeah, like I don't care. But I don't know if that girl exists, and that's a big. I mean, to say.
But you also have to like her and love her.
Right. Exactly. But I think my business brain goes, dude. Statistically, there's going to be one. But then from what I've seen from women emotionally and just like my mother and my sisters and my girl, like, I'm like, bro, it doesn't exist. Like they'll deal with it, but dealing with it, some guys are okay with that. Like, I don't know if I'm okay with that. I don't think I am, because otherwise I think I'd be doing it. And so it bothers me because like on one side, I'm a very alpha type guy. I go for what I want, but at the other side, I just can't seem to bring myself to
accepting it. It's more of like, maybe it's an acceptance kind of thing, accepting what is and how the way things are.
Yeah, but you know, then I just think in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, you know, maybe
there's a way.
I don't know.
There is a way. There must be a way.
Yeah, because I don't know. I want to live my dream life, right? My dream life is like, there's no fighting and there's no bickering. Like, it's kind of kumbaya. I'm getting a push at business. I can go to the gym. I don't know. I guess let's say life is just a test and we're just here to learn things and do hard stuff. I think that bothers me to a degree. It's like, so we're just here to do hard stuff, and I don't know. This is a huge rabbit hole, but hopefully you get the gist.
But why do you think we're just here to do hard stuff?
Well, that's at least what I like. I mean, because at least for me, when I don't, so I took a 6-month sabbatical a year and a half ago. Mm-hmm. I didn't work for 6 months. I've never done that my whole life, and I didn't realize how horrible I felt till I came back and I started working.
What did you do for 6 months?
Nothing.
Like you were just here in Miami chilling?
Just traveled the world and did whatever I wanted.
By yourself?
I had my video guy with me. But I just traveled the world and did whatever I wanted. And then when I came back and I started working, it was almost as if I'd gone from McDonald's to a salad. And I was like, whoa. I was like, today was a great day. You
had purpose again.
Yeah, but, you know, what's funny about purpose is technically, I mean, I think we're all going to die, right? As far as I know, like, if there's something after, great. But like, as far as I know, we're going to die. Cool. What I do really won't matter that much. No one's going to think about it. So then, you know, when we talk about purpose, like, yeah, I had purpose today. Like, I was working on my business. I was like putting out fires. I was doing stuff. I'm at this podcast. But then part of me thinks like, it doesn't really matter either. So
you're like, so what?
Yeah. So then it takes me back in a spiral of, you know, what are we doing? Like, what are we here to do? And for example, with the girl stuff, like, if being with one woman is what you're supposed to do, I can do it. But I just think it's that question of just really knowing, and then the fact that everyone's doing different stuff, that kind of it kind of cements the fact like nobody knows, because if everyone knew what to do, they'd all be doing it, right? And maybe that's the test, right? So then it takes me, it's like, maybe that's the test. Maybe the whole point is like, we're not supposed to know, because if we knew, then it wouldn't really be a test.
What if you're here just to enjoy it every day? You don't have to like figure it out or understand it or discover anything.
I just think when and I would agree. I think when it comes to other people, you can't just, like, you know, whatever happens. It's like people have expectations. I think that's totally a woman's right. Like, if she's dating you, she can say like, these are my expectations. You know, so I think just for this subject, because it involves other people, at least it's been a bigger thing for me. So
So you decided not to go the monk route.
Yeah, like monk or business route. Like,
yeah.
The monk route just seemed very, from my experience, it just, like, when I say experience, like the ayahuasca trip where I was thinking about it, it just seemed like it wouldn't benefit anyone. It would benefit me, but it wouldn't benefit anyone else. I really remember having strong thoughts about, my brothers were working for me. I was able to pay their bills and help them, and I was able to take care of my family. And, I had all these people who've come and worked inside my business and helped grow their businesses. And, I feel I'm doing more good for the world versus I'm a monk. I'm not saying being a monk's bad. It's just it feels very like you can't really do that much help for people, I don't think, unless you can help them financially. I mean, the world revolves around money. Everything you want to do revolves around money. The only reason you can't do stuff you want to do is you don't have enough money.
Well, you have enough money and you still can't do what you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could, but
there are things you cannot buy.
Yeah, I could. I just don't. I don't know. I guess I'm afraid of where that might take me.
The monk route, or doing what you want to do?
No, doing what I want to do. I think, like, one of my buddies who I respect a lot. People would know him. I don't like to mention him for that reason. But he said to me, he said, he says, like, you can choose novelty or loyalty. He's like, that's just maturity, bro. He's like, you just got to deal with it. He's like, you can have super loyal girl, or like you can choose novelty, but you can't have both. And I think that's just, I don't know, for some reason I've always been like, oh, there's got to be a way to have both. Like, why can't you have both? Especially with Steve, right? You mentioned Steve. Steve's all about creating, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, why can't I just create that shit?
Why can't you?
Maybe I can. Maybe I can. I just think when I've tried in the past, it hasn't ended well. And then I'm sitting here thinking, why am I giving up such a good girl to go down this path that I don't even know if it's going to work? Right?
Are you in love with her?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, of course. Like, I care about her very much. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with her. She's perfect. Like,
right. I don't think there's anything wrong with you either. It's just like internal conflict that you have.
You're right. Yeah, it's just been this. And
I think a lot of men struggle with this, and you're just voicing it in a way where maybe at least you're being real about it.
Yeah, and I'm like, my dad's in his 60s, and he's like, son, when you're 60, you won't care. I'm like, yeah, but I'm 30 now.
So your parents know you struggled with this?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm pretty. I just don't. I don't hide stuff because I feel like it festers, and then you'll get caught in a lie, and you'll say something, and you're like, oh shoot, I wasn't supposed. So if people don't like it, like, I try to be tasteful how I talk about it. I don't try to be disrespectful, but I don't mind if people know, and if they don't like me for it, it's like, okay,
Okay. Well, you let me know when you figure it out.
Yeah, you'll be the first to know, I promise.
I remember we spoke about this over a year ago.
Yeah, and it's great. That's the crazy part, is it's been a couple years, and I thought, maybe with time, but every 5 years I get a little more mature. Sometimes I look back and I'm like, oh, that's why it took so long, or so I'm hoping maybe I'll get that aha moment. But
what's cool about you and this whole thing is that you're not destructive around it. Like, people can take something like that within them, because everyone struggles with some sort of like question or addiction or something they can't get rid of. I see it all the time. I coach people for a living, so there's always something people really, really struggle with.
Yeah.
And what's really cool is that you're not acting in a destructive way. You're trying to figure it out. You're talking about it. You're being honest about it. You're being authentic about it. And I think there's a lot of good in that,
Yeah.
And
I think the hardest part is just, like, regardless, like, if I go down that path, like, for X amount of time, it might still bother me. And I think that's bothered me. Like, it bothers me that it bothers me. Does that make sense? Like, I'm like...
You're trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, like, I want to do the right thing. Doing the right thing is number one. Like, doing the right thing is number one.
What if you stop trying to do the right thing?
Like, meaning what?
Like, just doing the right thing, Like, what if you just stop trying to push and force yourself to do the right thing?
Yeah, I haven't walked down that path completely. Like, I haven't straight up, like, had, like, 6 girlfriends and stuff. But I mean, when I've broken up and I've been single, like, I'll be dating and I'll be talking to a lot of girls, and like, for the most part, I think what ends up happening is, like, they don't have the substance I'm looking for. The relationships become very transactional or physical. And then, like, that's not ultimately what I'm after. The best way for me to describe it is just, I think of it like a diet. So it's like, okay, 90% of the time I don't eat pizza, but I can still have pizza a few times. with women, it doesn't work that way. You can't just.
No, it doesn't work that way.
You're right. And so I think that's the mindset I have with it, where like you would never look at me and be like, oh, Tanner's addicted to girls. It's not like that.
No, that's not the sense
but
I get from
you can't stick your toe in it.
No, but what I get is like you have a one thing that in internal conflict that you're struggling with, and you're trying so hard to do the right thing, and you're trying to control it so hard, and not lose control, and you're trying to control the fact that you want to do the right thing. It's not even the subject itself. It's not even the fact that I like all these women. It's not even that. It's on what's on top of it, which is I need to control this subject and I need to do the right thing. What I found in my experience, like when we let go of that control and trying to do the right thing, we don't even end up doing that, but we end up.
But like when you say let go control, like what do you mean?
You're trying to control the whole situation.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's the situation here, which is my obsession with women.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm trying to control how I go about it. Right? I'm trying to control the subject. It's not mastering the subject. It's different. It's controlling the subject and do the right thing. So it's what's on top of it.
I don't know.
The system around the whole thing is what's keeping you trapped, I think. Is what I'm saying.
I just feel ultimately as the man, like I'm in control, meaning like if I want to do it, I can do it. If I don't do it, it won't happen. Like the girl really has no say, to be frank. And so I think, I don't know, like I feel like even if I quote unquote let go of control, it's like, it's still my choice if it happens versus there's not a chance in hell. Like if a girl was dating me, it's like, I'm paying for something. Like there's absolutely zero chance she could do that. You know what I mean? So it's not like really a choice for her, I don't think. For me, it's like I can choose to do that, and I'm sure some girl out there will deal with it, right? So then that takes me back to like, oh, maybe, like it's all the maybe shit.
Yes. Yeah, but what I'm talking about is different. It's on top of that. They're trying to control, not the situation itself, but the whole thought process and the whole try and figure it out.
Well, yeah, but...
And the whole...
if you let go, like you still don't have an answer though, right? I mean, because even with ayahuasca, that's their whole thing. It's like let go, like I went there to hopefully like get like a solid answer, but I still don't know. Right.
So that's what I'm talking about. Like letting go of trying to get an answer.
Trying to get an answer.
Letting go of trying to do the right thing.
Maybe that's the whole point. Is like we have these obstacles and we're not supposed to know the purpose. Like for example, for food,
if you stop chasing it, it might just come to you.
Yeah. Food, for example, doesn't bother me. It's like, why does tasty food have the most calories and it's the worst for us? I'm like, I don't really give a shit. Like I don't care that much. It's just this I actually care about. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know. Maybe I just need to care less.
Yeah, if you care less and stop trying to control it or figure it out, I'm sure the answer will come to you.
That's what she'd probably tell me. She always gives me good advice, and I usually ignore it for a few years, and then
who?
My girlfriend. Girls in general. Girls usually give actually pretty good advice. It's just we notice like 2 years later.
Yeah, it's okay.
You guys forgive us.
Yeah, we do. But you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think it's the intelligence of trying to figure something out that's keeping you trapped in this circle.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but I mean, that would be the question. Like, if God was like, "Yeah, you're not supposed to figure it out. It's just supposed to be this confusing loophole," I'd be like, "Oh, great!" Like, I don't know. I think that's the one part. I don't know, being intellectual probably, but it's all good. It is what it is. Like, I'm happy to talk about it, and it'll probably be something. I don't know how much longer, but whatever.
It will come to you.
Yeah.
And then you promise you let me know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely let you know.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for being here.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me rant for a while.
Yeah, for sure. This is not where I thought the conversation was going to go.
Yeah, same.
But I'm happy you're doing better.
Thank you. Yeah,
I'm happy you're doing good. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah. And no more scooters for you.
Absolutely not. Yeah, I'll be safe. I'll be in an Uber.
Yeah. Good to see you, Tanner.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching, everyone, and don't forget to subscribe. Let's take a moment to reflect on the power of purpose. Sefamar, a leader in assembling vehicles in Morocco, builds more than machines. They create the essential vehicles that move us forward, connecting people, building cities, and enabling progress. Just as their trucks and buses carry people and materials, bringing to life a vision of growth and development, we too are vehicles, carriers of ideas, dreams, and deeper truths. At the Sarra Show, we embrace what it means to be human and to serve a purpose beyond ourselves. When we surrender to that purpose, we unlock our true potential. Sephamar's vehicles connect communities. We, in turn, connect hearts and minds. Thank you for joining us in this shared journey of creation and connection. Together, we are all vehicles for something greater.